Hey there, this is Dylan Rawlings doing a Zoom instructional video. I'll try and make this simple and sweet as I can. If I get it too complicated or talk too fast, then I apologize. So obviously to begin, for the Zoom guy, especially in the John Adams building for the M34th Ward and others, you want to come up to the Zoom spot behind the organ and grab the USB that comes from the USB hub underneath the laptop stand and plug it into your laptop. And you might as well plug in the HDMI right now so that is connected to the monitor for the bishopric to view. And then once you have that down, it'll show that the Ethernet's connected. It won't be this, it'll be a square with a cord looking symbol. Right now I'm using hotspot because the Ethernet's not working at the current moment, but usually it doesn't do that. Anyways, but right now I'm using that. You can ignore that. Let's open Zoom. I suggest you use the application rather than the browser because it'll probably run smoother. And so once we do that, we'll type in the email or copy and paste it if you can. Right click does not work, therefore you need to use Control V to paste. Obviously for the password, I don't want to type that all out, so I use the LastPass password manager, or just in short, password manager. Assuming it works, you can just click on your extension or open up the application of your password manager. You can click the search bar and you can go ahead and copy and paste the password in. So I got that typed in because my thing was running slow. It can be sometimes for you. You can click start on the meeting. It's a recurring meeting, so it'll show up right there. And then it'll pop up. And because we have the hub on, it'll most likely it'll automatically turn on the cameras. Right now it's not showing them because I didn't turn the hub on. So now it's loading, and then like it shows there. The HD Pro webcam is the one towards the pulpit, and then Nexio is the one towards the congregation. What I typically do is during the hymns, singing of the hymns, I'll turn it towards the congregation, and then of course when we're about to have speakers and stuff, I'll change it back to the pulpit. As to the audio, obviously you want to unmute it, and so that we can hear the pulpit and the congregation best, you want to make sure the microphone is set to USB audio device, or USB 2, whatever it shows. Just make sure it's on the USB one. If it's on your laptop one, obviously everyone's going to hear you singing the most over everyone else, and they're not going to hear the speakers too well, or the bishopric. And you don't want it on the webcam ones either, because those could be fuzzy but chance. So you want it on USB. And obviously right now, I don't have the microphone system of the chapel on, because the pulpit microphone is not on right now. If you need to turn it on, like if you want the organs to be heard before the meeting starts, for those who are on Zoom, you can go up to next to the pulpit controls at the end next to the chair, and click the black square button that turns on the microphone, and you'll see a red dot come on. And then you'll see this move up and down, and you'll hear the organ. You'll have a green bar going up and down it. If you can't see it too well, you can click on audio settings, and then you'll see it move right here in a blue bar. To show you what it looks like, I'll select one of the webcams. And now you can see the microphone can hear me on the webcam. It might be surprising too, but that's because I'm the only one in the room currently, and so it can hear me talk. And so then of course if we switch it to that, then it hears me from my laptop one. Obviously that's the loudest, and everyone's going to hear me singing. Just again, make sure it's on USB audio device, so that it's going through the audio system of the chapel. And then once you see that moving, I'll just leave the automatically adjust microphone volume on, because if the organs are really loud, then it'll automatically turn this bar down, so it's not going really loud on people's TVs or other devices. And so I suggest you leave that checked. And so and then of course when the sacrament meeting is about to start, at the end of the hymn, just turn off both audio and video. Turn them both off. I'm going to show the profile picture of the ward that you're in, and you'll do that until the sacrament portion of the meeting is over. If you so choose, so every now and then, I'll go to the chat, and to everyone, I'll type in the audio and video will resume when the second meeting portion of the meeting is over, and you can send that if you so choose. At the start of the meeting, it will show at the top, if I have not stated already, that there'll be participants in the waiting room. You can click View Participants. You can click this button at the bottom as participants as well, and it'll show everyone trying to get into the meeting. For example, I'll join on one of my devices. And 3, 2, 1, and here's my phone trying to join. And I'll click Admit. However, if you have multiple people joining at once, rather than click Admit multiple times, all that you need to do is click Admit All. And so I'll have another device come on in, and it'll say Admit All. Just click on that one, and it'll make it easier for you. And then I'll let them both in. Now, sometimes people will, whether it's accidental or not, they'll unmute themselves. It'll automatically turn off their cameras and unmute themselves. If they have their camera on, it doesn't matter. But sometimes they'll accidentally turn their microphone on, and everyone else on Zoom will hear it. And also, you don't want that. And not only that, is if you have your speakers on your laptop, it will likely blare through your speakers, and everyone in the chapel will hear as well. And so I also suggest you mute your speakers on your laptop that you're using for Zoom, just in case someone does turn on their microphone and yell something, or there's a crying baby or something else. And I'll show you, you can actually mute them if they do turn it on. So for example, I'll stop talking so it doesn't do the screeching feedback. I'll do it for a quick second so you can tell it's loud and annoying. Boo. And it'll echo, and it'll be annoying. But that's just because I'm really close to two microphones. But again, you don't want other people to hear it. And so, if I unmute, I need to click mute. Like so. And technically it'll show the mute one if I turn this one on too. But obviously you pretty much almost always want your microphone camera on for the host, because that's you, so everyone can see. And so you can always move and adjust things. You just move the participants onto the corner, out of the way, so you can keep admitting people. People will join 10 minutes in, 20, 40 minutes in, or maybe only for a second hour. It really depends. So I check like every 10 seconds because I keep an eye on it like a hawk. And then when it comes to second hour, I'll typically always have the breakout room button on as well. If someone raises their hand, it's typically nothing. Like if they do this, let's see. If they raise their hand, which is this one, typically it's nothing, because typically it disappears within 5 seconds. If they keep it on, maybe they can't hear the audio. I'd say if you can see the green bouncing down here on your microphone, you know your audio is good. Therefore, you just need to pop into chat, select their name, and then just say, how can I help you? And if they respond saying that they don't have audio, ask them to make sure that your microphones are on and that your audio is good and is on and going fine. And so that should be good. And then of course you can get rid of that. And then one last thing that I would say as to the first hour is when there's more than one person, it will show the spotlight option. Where is it? Typically it shows a spotlight option. And so what you'll do is you can just click this button right here, and it'll say spotlight for everyone. It's probably because I don't have the thing on. There we go. So then it'll say spotlight for everyone right here. I highly suggest you do this. It's pretty much the pin function, but rather than just selecting that screen like this is what pin does. You can just shrink this gallery tab away and get it out of the way. But then it'll pin. But we don't need pin for ourselves. So what we want to do is we want to spotlight for everyone. And that would just mean that it puts a big screen of the chapel, of the congregation, and everything for everyone that is watching via Zoom. And so that if someone does speak, then it'll put their camera first, but we don't need that, so it's spotlight for everyone. I highly suggest that. And that should be it for the first hour. You can pause this video if I've been too boring or speaking too fast, or you need to review some stuff that I've already said. And of course, if you have questions, like I'll say at the end of the video, if you have questions, then just ask tech specialist in the stake, or someone who knows tech in the ward, or if you're in the 34th ward or something like that, or you know me personally or something, you can always ask for help and we'll help you out. So obviously for the second hour, we're not going to be sitting here in the Zoom spot anymore with the Ethernet cord. And so at that point, I'll click on our internet settings, and we will disconnect the USB hub. And then we'll click on WeHona and connect. It will temporarily disconnect you from Zoom. As you saw, the webcam turned off because we're no longer connected to them. And neither will it show the Ethernet connection. And then you'll want to click connect on the WeHona. The internet here might be having difficulties right now, so it might not work as I want it to, but we'll see. Typically, it will not say connected and secured right off the bat. It may be doing it for me automatically because I've been doing it for the past half an hour, and so it's already already knows I've recently connected, so it trusts me. But it will typically pop up a page saying Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and a term of use page, and you click I agree, I continue to use internet, blue button. If you do not click that blue agree button, therefore it will not let you connect to the internet. It might partially connect you to the Wi-Fi, but it will not give you that internet access, and it will not work. Therefore, you might need to disconnect and click connect again until it pops up a page on your browser, and click a blue button saying continue to use internet, so saying that you agree to the terms of use. And then once it does that, Zoom will keep connecting and try and reconnect you. Assuming the Wi-Fi will work, it'll show back up and put you as host, like so. You are the host again. And then once you're back to this spot, if you can either break out room before you disconnect to Wi-Fi, before you disconnect from the hub, or you can do it after, either one. And before you click open, you want to click on options. Once you have options open, click allow participants to choose room. If you do not do that, they will not be able to select it, and you will have to assign each person. And we don't want to do that, to be honest. And so just make sure you have that checked, and then you can open all rooms. And it'll show the unassigned, because neither of my devices have joined a room. And so what I mean by assign is right here. If you hover over it, you say assign to. And say, I know who Dylan is. He's a guy, and he'll be in Elders Quorum, and it's Elders Quorum today. I click Elders Quorum. And then it'll put a notification on my phone saying, hey, M34th Ward is inviting you to join Elders Quorum breakout room. And you can click join if you so choose. And then I'll click join on my phone, and then it'll put me into it, and it'll put me back as green. It'll say not joined if they either never accept it, or they're not fully participating in the meeting kind of deal. And say for my iPad, I'll just choose myself, Ward members will choose themselves, and they'll go to Relief Society or Elders Quorum. Sometimes, specifically me, all the time, I forget which Sunday it is, whether it's Elders Quorum Society or it's Gospel Doctrine. So what I'll do for everyone is a quick broadcast message to all. And I'll say today is, whatever it is. I'm just doing it shorthand for this video. And then I'll just click enter or click broadcast. Say on the top of everyone's screen what that message is, so they are aware what Sunday it is and what classes we're having. And then they can, go to their own rooms and so forth. Hopefully I'm not going too fast again, and you're understanding. You can rewatch it or ask someone for help if you need more depth or slowness. If it's Gospel Doctrine class, or depending on who's doing the Zoom, you may need to do the video and audio for one of the classes. Obviously, since I'm a dude and all, or a brother, whatever, I'll either go to Elders Quorum or go Gospel Doctrine with all the adults. And so when that happens, I typically go to the library, and there's these black containers that look like lunch boxes per se. They have a webcam in them. You want to grab one of those, potentially check it out by writing on the whiteboard on the wall, and then go to the room and connect it to the laptop that you're using for Zoom. And then you can just click join. I'll go to Elders Quorum just for this sake, since I already have a device on that. I'll go to Elders Quorum, and then you can just turn on your video and audio for that. And just a reminder, the participants is only going to show the participants in that specific breakout room. It's not going to show all the participants in the meeting like it has been. And I'll try to be as clear as for the breakout rooms as I can, because I know it can be confusing for some people. And you can click on this again, the breakout rooms, so you can see who is where. Sometimes the elderly do need a hand in you assigning them to a room. Sometimes they're not sure how to do breakout rooms from their own device, so you need to click assign, and then it'll pop up on their phone saying, do you want to join this room? And if they do, then they'll just click join now, and it'll move them to it. And so typically, if you can and want, you can shrink the thing so you can see behind it, and then you can just turn it on. It's not, like, for example, I can plug the hub back in since I'm still in here. And then, like I was saying, you can just plug in the USB of the webcam and just select your webcam that you're using. And then I also suggest you use the microphone of the webcam. And so, like, say it's most likely going to be the HD Pro webcam, but for this example, I'll select the Nexio microphone webcam. And then obviously, like I was saying, just select this webcam you need, and so forth. Either you can do gallery view, or you can pin it if there's not enough people. This isn't going to show the spotlight for everyone in the breakout rooms. So if you want, you can just pin it so you can see everything that's going on in your specific room. And again, you can shrink the side video stuff. And I'll usually monitor the participants in the breakout rooms during second hour as well, because Relief Society, if it's Relief Society, then they'll typically join in the participants, and it'll say I'm 34th Ward RS. You click accept, and then either you can assign them to the Relief Society room, which might make it a little quicker for them and help them out, or just let them join it themselves. And then you just monitor it, and then again, if it's Elders Quorum Relief Society on that Sunday, sometimes one group over the other will go longer, whether it's just Relief Society going a minute longer, or sometimes even Elders Quorum goes a minute or two longer than the other. You want to make sure that they are done. So for example, if Elders Quorum finishes first, then obviously we'll be done and people will leave. Like Dylan's iPhone, it'll leave. In Relief Society, when you see M and 34th Ward RS has left, that's highly likely means that they're gone. But if you want, you can just, if you're done with Elders Quorum, you can just switch to it, and then you can check and see if they're still talking, whether it's announcements or the lesson, or they're in the middle of a prayer. And then once you can tell they're done in the middle of done with the prayer, then you know the meeting's over. You can click leave room and end meeting for all, and this will end the meeting for everything. The youth can have, as you saw in the breakout rooms, have their own breakout room, and youth can join their quorums during second hour of church. However, that also means that the youth leaders must join via their phones for the youth to join. We've done it before, but often it is not used. But we made all these breakout rooms just in case. That should be everything. Hopefully this was useful and not super boring or confusing. But again, contact those who know about Zoom stuff if you need any extra hands. And have a good one. Good luck. Bye.